Hello, welcome back to southern Sweden, where we are putting the finishing touches to this big recording studio and art centre in these big old Swedish cow barns. Last week you saw me on a marathon keyboard rescue mission, which went pretty well, but I only kind of got started really with the Rhodes. So this week I'm going to hopefully finish the Rhodes, or at least get it kind of put back together and playing again to see what difference all of my alterations have made. The main thing, really, actually the only thing, is to do the key bushings, because the keys are super wobbly, and as I'm learning with this, with any kind of piano type instrument like that, if when you're pushing down on the key to play a note, even if it just moves a little bit from side to side or kind of tilts like that, somehow that is a lot of lost energy. It's called lost motion, I believe, and it will have a dramatic effect on how your brain and your fingers feel about playing on the keyboard. It'll just feel kind of sluggish and unresponsive and weird, and that's definitely how this Rhodes felt before. The key bushings basically keep the key nicely centered, nicely vertical, not moving from side to side, so that when you play it just basically just goes up and down and it'll play nicely. So I have been experimenting as usual. There's lots to unpack and unpack with this. So please subscribe and let's see how this goes. Okay, so the thing that actually took me the longest so far was figuring out how to get the old key bushings out. And my friend Marcus told me that I should use steam. And the first thing I thought of was, I guess maybe 12 years ago, when I first moved to Berlin, I was getting really bad like sinus infections and stuff. And so I invested in this thing, the My Pure Mist handheld steam inhaler. Great for the whole family. And I thought potentially great for repairing pianos. And so I kind of modded it. I made this kind of, I don't know, it looks like a bong or something. It's actually kind of all broken now because it was kind of working. It was very gentle, as you'd expect a kind of face steamer to be. It wasn't like full on, but I thought it was quite good, you know. It did work, but then it broke and it just wouldn't turn on. I've been checking it out. I don't know why it just stopped working. I think maybe it's just old and kind of crap. But then I had a brainwave. In fact, I was watching Elsa make a cup of coffee on her espresso machine, which I actually bought her for her 40th. And I realized that this would be absolutely perfect. It's got the little milk steamer nozzle on it, which I spent last night experimenting with, and which works really well. I think it's actually like the best because it's pretty powerful, and you literally only have to hold the key on there for a couple of seconds and it just falls off. Like it's pretty easy. I think possibly also it doesn't heat the wood too much or steam the wood too much because it's only on there so briefly. I think that's one of the issues when you use steam, is it can make the wood expand a little bit. But yeah, I feel that it was just so briefly on there that I don't think it's going to affect the wood too much. So that's one of my tools for this job. The other thing that you need are these things, and I'm not sure actually what they're called, can't remember now, but these are the things that you put in there once the key's not sitting in there, obviously. These are the things that you put in there to basically create exactly the right gap between the two pieces of felt for the pin to sit in, and so that it's just really nice, not too tight, not too loose. And I found a 3D print file made by, I can't remember his name now, Bullet168. So big shout out to you. with numerous different sized, where are they? Numerous different sizes of these things, because they are basically 1/10 of a millimeter difference between each one. And so I experimented a little bit. I figured out which size works best for the top, for the, I think it's called balance rail, the balance rail bushing, and then the front rail is slightly bigger. I did them both the same the first time, but the key was sticking at the front because it was a little bit too tight. So it was literally 0.3 of a millimeter bigger. I did it again, 0.3 of a millimeter bigger, and it's really perfect. It hardly moves at all, like the tiniest little bit, and it's really, really responsive. It feels really good. So I think it was 3.7 here and 4 millimeters here, maybe 4.1. I think it's 4.1, so 0.4 of a millimeter. 3.7 here, 4.1 here. I guess on your particular Rhodes, maybe it'll be a slightly different size. But yeah, that's what worked for me. So what am I going to do now? I've already started taking off the felt for this section here. So now I will take off the next 24, let those dry, but just in case there's any kind of moisture left in the wood. And then I will put in the new keyboard bushing felts on these ones. I made 24 each of these. These are the 3.9s, 3.7s, and these are the 4.1s. So these are for the bottom, these are for the top. So hopefully this won't take too long. Turn on the espresso machine, which is a Pavoni Euro Pickler, in case you think you might buy one of these just to do this job. Well, then you'd get a bonus espresso machine out of it, I suppose. It also makes the studio smell pretty nice, I have to say. Kind of nothing better than some coffee aroma in a studio. All right, pronto. Just as a little break from the piano restoration stuff. I thought I'd show you what else I've been up to this week. I didn't really film too much of it because I don't know why. Sorry. I've built a bar. I've built the bar for what's going to be the restaurant. Kind of a mess right now, but we are just about to pour a concrete worktop here. So the method we're trying this time, which I've got a better feeling about, is more of a kind of pour in place method, so we don't have to flip it over like we did last time we did this. So I've just got some cement board, 3 pieces. They're screwed together underneath with this kind of edging on as well. So the idea is that we pour the concrete in, level it to the top of here, screed it very smooth with a nice float, and then we can get underneath and remove all the wood and everything. And fingers crossed, we should be left just with a nice concrete worktop. Yeah, so this is going to be basically the kind of serving area here. Isaac and I are going to make quite a fantastic top. Whoops, that's blood there. That's where I sliced my finger open yesterday. Isaac and I are going to make quite a fantastic top for this. Curving round, if you can see the front curves. That took a bit of figuring out, but this rough old bit of wood, this is basically just a kind of mock-up of how big the top will be. So yeah, this is quite exciting. Just thought I'd show this little interlude, keep you caught up with what's going on in the rest of the place. So I guess now we can pour the concrete worktop. Sanding attachment within the fabric. Right, so that is looking pretty good for now. I'll come back in an hour or so and hit it with the float again, polish it a bit. Okay, back to the Rhodes. Okie dokie. That is all of those taken out, the old ones. So sadly, I have finished with Elsa's espresso machine. I can go and put this back in the kitchen and have some lunch. And then after lunch, I will put in the new felts, 24 at a time, and let them dry for an hour or so, and then do the next batch. So, can I get this all done today? Maybe. Let's see. Okay, so the concept with this is that putting this felt in this hole creates just the right amount of friction in this in the hole, so that the pin can just slide in there very nicely, but also that the key won't wobble from side to side. So it kind of has to be like just right. And Marcus, my friend, gave me these, which are like his old set for doing pianos. But I think these were actually a little bit too small. I did a bit more research and experimenting, and like I said, I think earlier, I found these 3D printable cauls. I think they're called cauls. It seems like 3.7mm is, forgive me if I've already said this, I can't remember if I said this earlier, 3.7mm seems to be the right size for these balance rail pins. I did originally try 3.7mm down here as well, but the keys were sticking. I did one key and it was sticking. So then I printed some 4.1 mil ones, and that seemed to be really nice. Like tiny little bit of movement on the key, but pretty tight and just lots of freedom. So that's what I've got. I 3D printed 24 of each, 3.7 mil, 4.1 mil. And basically, I mean, I've already done 24, so it seems to work. What I'm doing is I'm putting the two ends, I have this strip here of this felt, putting the two ends together, a little bit of glue. This is Type Bond 2, I believe, or maybe it's just Type Bond 1, not sure. It's wood glue. I think you are supposed to possibly use fish glue for this, but I couldn't find my fish glue, which was very annoying. So I'm pretty sure this works fine. And I'm just laying them so they just kind of meet in the middle of the hole, maybe push down very slightly. It's fiddly as hell, but yeah, just so they kind of meet in the middle of the hole, like that. Grab one of these things and just push it down into the hole. It's quite a tight fit until it's all the way down, and then trim off either side. And there you go. So I'll do all the balance rail ones, and then I'll do the front rail ones. I'll flip them all over, and then I'll let them dry for a couple of hours, and then I'll do the last 24, and we should be there. Not bad. A lot better than it was. Okay, I think there's a missing hammer. I think at some point I will replace these dampers and hammer tips. They are a bit knackered, but I have other things to get on with really, so I think I'll just put it back together and I'll see how it feels, because obviously these are not hitting anything right now, so it feels a bit sort of weird, because these just like, you know, they go very high, but it's definitely feeling a lot better. So yeah, I'm going to put this back together and then see how it feels. I'll glue on this hammer. I've got some spare ones. I've got a few spares from years ago, from a different Rhodes actually. Okay, let's do it. I think you have to just keep pulling this out. That's why this is kind of hinged there, right? So you can do that. Just pull it in and out. Very good. Yeah, okay. I'm very happy with how it plays. Yeah, it's a little bit too gnarly. There I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this and it'll just be like perfectly kind of ancient sounding. But shit, man, what has this poor old thing been through? It's almost like somebody went in and kind of deliberately made it as bad as possible. Yeah, it all needs a really good clean and a proper setup. New dampers, I think new hammers. Don't know why that one's like that. That's a bad time, maybe. Okay, what an adventure. I mean, that's a lot of work. Even a lot of work still to go. But I thought I would just finish this video checking in on our concrete worktop, which formed the little interlude, looking very concretey. So this is going to need a fair old bit of grinding and polishing. But yeah, I think basically this week we will try to get this all done. I've been chatting to my friend in England who's an ex-cocktail barman, and he's given me a few more kind of pointers. So I think we're going to have to get this cupboard out. We're going to have to ditch that. We need more stuff. We need a glass washer and more shelves at the back. So yeah, watch this space for next week's bar adventures. Okay, thanks for watching to the end. Lots of love. Please subscribe and I will see you next time. Until then, look after each other, and goodbye.